There is a quiet voice inside you that doesn't shout. It doesn't use long arguments or present evidence. It speaks in pulses, a sense, a pull. You feel it in the chest, not in the head. And when it speaks, even softly, it seems to carry the weight of something ancient and true. That is the voice of the heart. The mind is brilliant. It can build cities, solve equations, plan for the future, analyze the past. It can construct elaborate justifications and find logic in chaos. But for all its brilliance, the mind lives in the realm of what is already known. It sees through the lens of memory, of patterns, of past experience. It categorizes and compares. It asks, what do I know, and what is safe? The heart, on the other hand, is not confined to knowledge. It speaks from a different place, a deeper well of being that doesn't need explanation to know something is right. It recognizes truth, not through analysis, but through resonance, like a tuning fork that hums in harmony with something invisible. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. One path is lit with signs. It shows the benefits, the statistics, the safest route. The mind says, go this way. It's proven, it's secure. But the other path is quiet, overgrown, uncertain. And yet, your chest aches when you look at it. Something within you leans toward it, even if everything logical screams against it. Why is that? Why would the body, the heart, the spirit pull toward uncertainty? It's because the heart is tuned not to comfort, but to truth. It is not afraid of the unknown because it senses what the mind cannot see. Intuition is the word we often use, but intuition is not just a sudden insight or a gut feeling. It's the result of a deep synthesis, a lifetime of unseen observations, subtle emotional readings, and unspoken wisdom accumulated over time. The heart integrates it all in silence. It doesn't break things down, it absorbs. It doesn't explain, it knows. The heart understands things the mind is too loud to hear. Like when you meet someone and something inside you says, be careful, even if their words are kind. Or when you feel drawn to an idea, a place, a person without knowing why, you try to reason it out. You make pro and con lists, but none of it captures the full picture. Because some truths don't live in language, we are conditioned to trust the mind more. From a young age, we are taught to reason, to plan, to be practical. We are told that feelings are unreliable, that emotion clouds judgment. But emotion is not weakness. Emotion is information. It is the language of the heart. It tells us what matters, what we fear, what we long for. And when we ignore it, something inside us contracts, like holding your breath for too long. You can survive that way, but you cannot thrive. You become a shell of yourself, efficient, perhaps, but unfulfilled. The conflict between heart and mind is not a flaw, it is the human condition. One part of us wants clarity, structure, safety. Another part wants expansion, connection, meaning. The mind builds the map. The heart knows where home is. Consider a child who draws for hours, completely absorbed. There's no reason, no goal, just the joy of expression. The mind hasn't taken over yet. The heart leads, and the child follows. Later in life, we start asking, is this useful? Will this make money? Is this smart? And in asking, we sometimes lose the thread of what brought us alive in the first place. There is a kind of wisdom that doesn't need to be taught, a kind that arises when we are quiet enough to listen. When we step out of the noise of expectations and into the stillness of presence. In that space, the heart speaks, and what it says often surprises us, because it doesn't always align with what we think we want, but it always points to what we truly need. The mind thinks in lines, the heart feels in circles. The mind seeks to solve, the heart seeks to hold. When someone you love is in pain, the mind tries to fix it. But sometimes what they need is not a solution, but a presence. A space where their suffering is seen and accepted. The heart knows how to offer that. It doesn't ask, "What should I do?" It simply says, "I'm here." Logic is a tool, a beautiful one, but it is not the master of our inner life. You cannot calculate your way to joy. You cannot reason your way into love. These things arise from the heart's landscape, wild, unpredictable, and deeply alive. Sometimes we feel torn. A job that pays well but empties us. A relationship that makes sense but leaves us cold. A path that everyone applauds but feels hollow. Inside, and in those moments, the mind tries to convince. It says, "This is what you wanted. This is what's right." But the heart won't be silenced. It whispers, "There is more." Following the heart is not always easy. It often asks us to let go of control, to trust in what cannot be proven. It may lead us into uncertainty, into risk, but it also leads us into growth, into depth, into ourselves. Think of a tree reaching for the sun. It doesn't know where the light will fall. It just grows toward what feels warm. That's what the heart does. It moves us toward aliveness, even if we don't fully understand the destination. The most important choices we make: who to love, where to live, what to create, when to stay or go, are rarely made through logic alone. We might dress them up in reasons later, but in the moment, it is something deeper that moves us. A knowing beyond words. There is a phrase, "Leap, and the net will appear." The heart knows how to leap. The mind looks for the net. Both are necessary, but only one will get you off the ground. What if the heart isn't just an emotional center, but a compass for the soul? What if it knows the way, even when we doubt it? Not because it's infallible, but because it is aligned with what matters most. Truth, love, meaning, purpose. Imagine you're walking through a foggy forest. The mind wants a map. It wants GPS. But the heart listens to the wind, notices the moss on the trees, feels which way the path wants to unfold. It doesn't demand certainty. It moves with trust. In many spiritual traditions, the heart is considered sacred. Not sentimentality, but sacredness. A doorway to the divine. When we drop out of the head and into the heart, we touch something eternal, a peace that doesn't depend on conditions, a clarity that doesn't come from figuring things out, but from surrendering to what is. This doesn't mean abandoning the mind. It means rebalancing, letting the heart lead and the mind support, letting feeling guide reason and reason refine feeling. Like the wings of a bird, both are needed. But it is the heart that gives flight. We are often afraid of feeling, of being vulnerable, of not knowing. But those are the very thresholds where the heart comes alive, where real transformation happens. Not in the tidy rooms of certainty, but in the wild, open spaces of not yet. Think of times you felt most alive, most connected, most yourself. Chances are, they weren't when everything made sense. They were when you followed something invisible, a dream, a hunch, a calling. And though it may not have been easy, it felt real, true, worth it. The mind may build the world we live in, but the heart gives us a reason to live in it. Without the heart, we might survive, but we would not feel wonder or awe or the trembling beauty of being human. When you listen to your heart, you may not always be understood. You may be questioned, doubted, even ridiculed. But in the quiet spaces of your own soul, you will know. You will feel the rightness of your path, even if it defies explanation. Because the heart is not a logic puzzle. It is a flame, and to follow it is to walk by firelight, soft, flickering, sometimes hard to see, but always leading you home. So, when the mind grows loud with worries, pause. Place a hand on your chest, breathe, feel into the silence beneath thought, and ask, not what is smart or safe or expected, but what feels alive, what feels true, what makes your heart say yes, even if your head isn't sure. In that space, you will find your way, not because it has been laid out for you, but because you carry the map inside, not in the folds of your mind, but in the quiet, unwavering wisdom of your heart, and that, more than anything else, is where the real journey begins.